Hello friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Danny and today is going to be a bucket list-a-thon update. So as you guys know, my schedule for videos has changed this month slightly. Instead of posting on Saturday and Tuesday, I am now going to be posting on Sunday and Wednesday due to some of the sprints that I'm doing this month. That will change back in the month of December. But what I wanted to do for you guys on Wednesdays is give you a little bit of an update on what I've been doing for Bucket List-a-thon, what books I've been reading, what I've thought. And I also want to do a Booktube Newbie highlights. So each Wednesday I want to highlight two new booktubers that I found, usually through the Booktube Newbie tag, but sometimes through other means. And I would love for you guys to go and show them some love and show them some support, subscribe to their channels, like their channels, comment to them, and just welcome them to the Booktube community. The first booktuber I want to talk to you guys about is Josie over at Josie Talks About Books. So this is kind of an interesting scenario on how I found Josie on Booktube. So it was my first Bucket List-a-thon sprints that I hosted on Saturday, and we were talking in chat about some Booktube newbies, and Josie's name got mentioned, and so I wrote down her details and went and found her channel, and I absolutely agree. You guys should go and check her channel out. Currently, she has 67 subscribers. A little bit about her, I have some notes down here, so that's why I'm looking down. So she primarily reads fantasy, historical fiction, and biographies was what she highlighted. Josie also is a non-native English speaker and is currently, or at the time of she didn't do the Booktube Newbie tag, but she did like a Booktube video, I think she called it a Booktube Noob video, which I like the title of that. And she talked about her current read at the time was a big chunky book of Agatha Christie short stories. And I know that I have some Agatha Christie fans out there. So you'll have something in common already. Currently she has, or I think she said, I don't want to give you the wrong information. She either has up or plans on doing wrap-ups, reading vlogs, and then read with me like videos on her channel. The Booktube Noob video that she did also highlighted the fact that her favorite book is The Count of Monte Cristo, and she actually talked about the manga classics that I learned about over at Kirsten's channel, and it's the second person that I've heard talk about manga classics, and so I was just fascinated that they're getting out there, and I know that they're probably super popular somewhere on Booktube, but I've only seen them in two places, and so yeah, I was really excited to see that on her list. The second booktuber I would like to talk about is Jess over at Jess Emily Reads, and I found Jess from her Booktube Newbie tag. And Jess primarily reads YA fantasy, historical fiction, and then some classics. The classics she outlined were Austen. I believe she said she wants to read the Bronte sisters, and then also has Rebecca on her TBR. And currently on her channel, I think she has 6 videos total. 41 subscribers, to give that stat. And she had a couple of videos on autumn reading lists, and then one that was on her ranking of YA fantasy tropes, which I found really interesting, especially because there were definitely a lot of, so I do not read a lot of YA, and it's because I dislike a lot of the tropes for YA, and so I have found a kindred spirit in Jess in the fact that there are certain YA tropes that I don't like. I am going to have to keep watching her videos to get some fantasy YA recommendations, because I definitely have stayed away from YA for a bit because it doesn't agree with me always. So hopefully her channel will be a database of information for me on that. She's also a writer. So she is a, what do you call that? A aspiring author, I think that's the word that was stuck in my brain. And so she also has done a couple of videos on writing, and her latest video is on, is it NaNoWriMo? NaNoWriMo is what it's called. And that's National Novel Writing Month, which I think is going on right now, which sounded super intense. So for any of you guys who are writers out there, I know that a couple of you have been on my chats and my sprints. You should definitely go check Jess out. So please, please, please go and give these booktubers some love, subscribe to their channels, like their videos, and comment. I know that they would love to talk to you guys. The next thing that I would like to do is update you guys on my progress on Bucket List-athon. And so I am going to start by jumping over a little bit so I can put up my little graphic of my current progress that I've written all over my checklist, so I can see the progress, because I am definitely a slower reader, and a lot of the reads that I've chosen this month are physical reads, and so I am reading them a little bit slower. The Will of the Many, man, that was my first read and it took me forever, but it was so worth it. I absolutely loved it. So with the first checkbox, I don't have it checked off yet. It says it's a physical read, or 3 physical reads, because I'm doing hard mode. And I've already read The Will of the Many, which is a physical read. And I have actually on my graphic, actually I might change it before I put it up, so you'll never know that I was wrong. Except for I'm telling you now. I'm telling on myself. But I originally had just put that I was working on my second physical read, but I'm actually working on my third. Or like I'm working on 2 and 3, because I am currently reading, let me make sure these both are in the frame. I don't know where that checklist is going to be. So we have Vita, Nostra and The Stone Sky, which are both physical reads. And so after probably this week, I will have checked off that first box, which, I mean, I'm moving along on my physical TBR. For those of you who have not been on my channel long, I do not have a large physical TBR because I tend to only buy books after I've read them, because my goal is to have a library of books that I have read and that I can recommend. Anyone who walks in and picks a book off my shelf, I want to be able to say that I've read it and that I've loved it. And currently, I believe I have 16 physical TBR books, and so now after those 3, I should have 13. I think that's the correct number. If not, I'll put the correct number somewhere up on the screen so you guys know what that is. I also am working on completing a series, so that will be another check off that I can do. I am buddy reading The Stone Sky with Leandra. This is the 3rd book in the Broken Earth trilogy, and man, this trilogy, if you guys have not read 5th season and you enjoy if you enjoy dystopian, enjoy fantasy, climate fiction, I absolutely love the series. It is very complex, and so if you are not a fan of dense fantasy, although this is not the densest fantasy I have read, not that that's like high praise by any means, but I definitely think that this book, or this series, it has helped me having Leandra to bounce ideas off of, because you have so many questions throughout the series that we are like, okay, what's happening? And there's like political intrigue going on. There's also like these powers that these people have, and there's just a ton going on. And so it does help to have kind of a buddy to go through that with. Moving on down the line, I have vlogged my reading experience. I have currently done 2 reading sprints on my channel for vlogging my experience of Readathon, and then also, I think this counts as well, telling you guys about my progress. I have had so much fun with you guys on sprints. If you are interested in sprints and have not gotten to join us, the next one will be on November 13th, and it will be from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central, and this week I will be having Nell from Nell Diamond and Brooklyn from Brooklyn Reads on. So we would love to have you chat with us in the comments. The next one that I've checked off is an intimidating read. I definitely count A Will of the Many as intimidating. I believe I think the book itself is only like 620 pages. Sorry, my dog's right next to me. But I think there's a glossary at the end, and so I think Goodreads says it's 640. So I definitely avoided reading this for a while, and it's been on my TBR since it came out, and it's been an avoidance. I am also planning on reading, I was not going to count The Will of the Many, but I am also going to be reading The Labyrinth's Heart this month, which is a pretty intimidating read for me. This one I think is a little bit chunkier. Oh, maybe not. 632 pages, so it's about the same size. So I will still probably read another intimidating read, I am going to go ahead and check off that box. Remember, for the Readathon, you can check off boxes multiple times. Your goal is to get 10 checks total, but it doesn't matter. Like if I get 2 checks in that checkbox, that counts as 2. I'm going to try and get all 10 regardless of whether or not I double up. So we'll see how many checkboxes I end up with at the end of the month. But if you don't want to do that, you can count Like if you do 6 physical TBRs, you can count that as 2 checkboxes. The last thing that I have accomplished for the bucket list-a-thon is reaching out to Booktube Newbies. So I have commented on both of the booktubers that were highlighted today, Jess and Josie's channel, and I do plan on doing that throughout the month, but I'm gonna go ahead and check off that box. If you guys, I think if you guys do any of these, please pick that one, because I just think it's going to be so fun for all of these new booktubers to get these sporadic comments through the booktube community. I just think it's going to be really fun to pull them in. The last checkbox is one that I will probably talk about every Wednesday or every update that I give you guys for this, because it is one that's going to take me all month to get there, especially being that I'm working against myself at the same time I'm working towards finishing a goal. So one of those is to complete as many series as I've started this year. I've currently started, I think it's now up to 27 books or series this year. And I've only completed 12 series, but I have caught up with 14, I think, at this point. However, although this is why it's 27 books instead of 25 series, I should say, because Vita Nostra is a series. The Will of the Many is also in a series. And so those were the 2 that I added. It used to be, I had started 25. So now I've started 27, but that's okay. I am completing one with The Stone Sky. I will also be completing one with Labyrinth's Heart. I am working on completing the Rhaenyra Revelations as well. I've been talking about that on Instagram. I read The Rise of Empire. That was the second book that I read this November. And so I am moving along in that goal, but I do have another goal that I would like to give to you guys, and I will let you decide whether or not it counts towards that box. I am still going to try and meet that series goal as well this month, but this is more of just a personal goal myself. I never talked about it on my channel, but my average book count or average page number per book last year was 350 pages. And this year I kind of declared the year of the chonky book. Or at least it was my journey into getting back to my love of chonky books. And so I wanted my average page count per book to be higher this year. I originally set it in my head at 450 pages, and I have since then dropped that down to 400. My goal for the end of the year is to have an average page count of 400. And currently, and this is why I think this is a goal that this is a yearly goal that I could accomplish this month if I really try. Currently, my average page count is at 390 pages per book. And so if I read a whole bunch of chonky books this month, I could raise it to 400. And I think that should count as completing a yearly goal. And so that would definitely make that checkbox gets marked off. But if you don't think that it counts because I haven't talked about it, it wasn't documented, I totally get it. What are your opinions? Let me know in the comments down below. So that is my bucket list-a-thon update. How are you guys doing on the Readathon? I know that some of you are also participating in Get a Clue and Nonfiction November. What other readathons are you guys participating in? What have you done this month that you're proud of yourself for? Let me know. I would love to chat with you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a lovely evening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.